In this tutorial, I'm going to try to teach you how to do the arrow of Asai. This is a trick invented by Daniel Marden. It looks something like this. There's obviously a lot going on in this trick, so I'm just going to build up to it slowly, step by step, starting with 2 balls. The first component is the slam throw, so figure out how to do that first. You throw the bottom one up a little bit, follow it up with the upper hand, and then slam down over the lower ball like this. Now, the trick here is that immediately after catching the lower ball with your slamming hand, you want to curve that ball around so that it comes up across your body in a high column, like that. Now, this has to be pretty fast for reasons that you'll see later in the pattern, and it's got to be fairly high up. This is one of the crucial timing elements of the trick, because a lot of stuff happens before that ball can come back again. Now, once you've gotten this down, the next component is a flourish with your other hand that's not doing the high column throw. And the flourish is basically just a circle that goes towards the outside of your body on the top, and then throws the ball in that hand into your other hand when it comes back around. So as in this case, my left hand is going to be doing this column throw on the opposite side of my body, my right hand will be going the other direction to start its loop. So you kind of have this exchange, and then both hands go in opposite directions. Your bottom hand will be throwing straight up, your top hand will be looping around, like this. And make sure that this flourish kind of pushes out and is as pronounced as possible for the way that the pattern looks. Now, believe it or not, we're almost there. The third ball just gets stacked on top of the lower slammed ball. So rather than just throwing one ball up and slamming over it and doing this thing, you now have a stack of 2 balls. You're going to hold them one in front of the other so it goes higher, like that. And you're going to slam over the lower ball as if the upper ball wasn't there. Now we've reached the point where you can see why this column throw from the bottom has to be so quick, because you still need to catch that upper stacked ball. And your column throw has to be done fast enough that that hand can then come back and catch it, like that. So now we have this all together. We slam over the bottom stacked ball, do the column on the outside as high as you can for the timing, come back and catch that top stacked ball. Meanwhile, your other hand is doing this swishy thing, and it comes back, and now when it wants to put its ball into your other hand, your hand has already caught the upper stacked ball. So you have to do a squeeze, which is when you throw another ball into that hand which already has one in it. I usually just kind of hold the ball that I caught with my pinky and ring fingers and throw into my other 3 fingers, because it seems pretty stable. So putting it all together, and you have to be done with that flourish, swish thing and throwing into the other hand in time to catch that high column throw, which is why it needs to be so high. Now notice we end up in the opposite configuration than we started with. Now you have 2 in your left hand and 1 in your right, rather than the other way around. And this allows you to then switch the direction of the pattern. You now throw with your left hand, do the stack, do the column, something like that. Now, in the description of the pattern that I see online, they claim that the next stack throw should happen before you catch that high column throw. So before that ball lands, I would have to throw these 2 again. Now, this is possible, but that would mean that you then have to catch this falling ball, raise it up and slam before these guys get too low, despite them having been thrown before you caught that ball. Now, that's pretty tall order. So I usually kind of end up, as well as I can do it, throwing them as I'm catching that column throw. I think that timing is reasonable. It looks acceptably good. And it looks something like this. But you do want to be kind of quick about it, because there is a stable point here where you've caught all the balls. And if you don't throw fast enough, it'll look like you're just not doing a continuous pattern. So you want to keep things moving. Again, make sure you're pushing those column throws up nice and high, giving yourself a good amount of space between the slam balls, and trying to remember to do the flourish, not robotically and tinily, as I sometimes do it, but in a nice, smooth fashion. And that is the arrow of Asai. Good luck.